Good morning, everybody. 8:30. In about a minute, we're going to get started. All right, back to basics. Think and grow rich. I don't know about you guys, but I've been thinking a lot and growing rich mentally a lot. Law of attraction. So just so everybody knows the structure, 10 minutes of reading. I still go a little bit harder and I go do my own reading at home and I do my own practicing or whatnot. So this is just for you guys to have fundamentals, for everybody that's joining us online, everybody that's going to watch this on Facebook, everybody that's watching on YouTube. Just real quick, we are working on setting up our morning schedule to a level where we create a habit that continuously makes our life easier. And I was speaking to somebody this morning and he says, man, it feels so good just to be back into my daily routine. I wasn't liking getting into the office 10, 10:30, 11. So I encourage you guys. So let's start off page 10, Think and Grow Rich, the impossible Ford V8 motor. For any of you guys that are car enthusiasts, here's a great story about vehicles. When Henry Ford decided to produce his famous V8 motor, he chose to build an engine with the entire 8 cylinders cast in one block, and instructed his engineers to produce a design for the engine. The design was placed on paper, but the engineers agreed to a man that it was simply impossible to cast an 8-cylinder engine block in one piece. Ford said, produce it anyways. But they replied, it's impossible, Mr. Ford. Go ahead, Ford commanded, and stay on the job until you succeed, no matter how much time it requires. The engineers went ahead. There was nothing else for them to do. If they were to remain on Ford's staff, 6 months went by, nothing happened. Another 6 months passed by, and still nothing happened. The engineers tried every conceivable plan to carry out the orders, but the thing seemed out of question. Impossible. At the end of the year, Ford checked with his engineers, and again, they informed they had found no way to carry out his orders. Go right ahead, said Ford. I want it and I'll have it. They went ahead, and then, as if by stroke of magic, the secret was discovered. The Ford determination had won once more. This story may not be described with minute accuracy, but the sum and substance of it is correct. Deduce from it, you who wish to think and grow rich, the secret of the Ford millions. If you can, you'll not have to look very far. Henry Ford was a success because he understood and applied the principles of success. One of these is desire. Knowing what one wants. Remember this Ford story as you read and pick out the lines in which the secret of his stupendous achievements have been described. If you can do this, if you can lay your finger on the particular group of principles which made Henry Ford rich, you can equal his achievements in almost any calling for which you are suited. Here's the next topic. Why you are the master of your fate. Drink some water.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I have to get some water. Why you are the master of your fate. When Henley wrote the prophetic lines, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul, he should have informed us that we are masters of our fate, that the captains of our souls, because we have the power to control our thoughts. He should have told us that our brains become magnetized with the dominating thoughts which we hold in our minds, and by means with which no man is familiar, these magnets attract to us the forces, the people, the circumstances of life which harmonize with the nature of dominating thoughts. He should have told us that before we can accumulate riches in great abundance, we must magnetize our minds with intense desire for riches, that we must become money conscious until the desire for money drives us to create definite plans for acquiring it. But being a poet and not a philosopher, Henley contented himself by stating a great truth in poetic form, leaving those who followed him to interpret the philosophical meaning of his lines. Little by little, the truth has unfolded itself until it now appears certain that the principles described in this book hold the secret of mastery over our economic fate. The next topic or chapter is principles that can change your destiny. We are now ready to examine the first of these principles. Maintain a spirit of open-mindedness, and remember as you read, they are the invention of no one man. The principles have worked for many men. You can put them to work for your own enduring benefit. You will find it easy, not too hard to do. Some years ago, I delivered the commencement address at Salem College, Salem, West Virginia. I emphasized the principle described in the next chapter with so much intensity that one of the members of the graduating class definitely appropriated it and made it a part of his own philosophy. The young man became a congressman and an important factor in Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration. He wrote me a letter in which he so clearly stated his opinion of the principle outlined in the next chapter that I have chosen to publish his letter as an introduction to that chapter. It gives you an idea of the rewards to come. My dear Napoleon, my service as a member of Congress having given me an insight into the problems of men and women, I am writing to offer a suggestion which may become helpful to thousands of worthy people. In 1922, you delivered the commencement address at Salem College when I was a member of the graduating class. In that address, you planted in my mind an idea which has been responsible for the opportunity I now have to serve the people of my state and will be responsible in a very large measure. And whatever success I may have in the future, I recall as though it were yesterday the marvelous description you gave of the method by which Henry Ford, with but little schooling, without a dollar, with no influential friends, rose to great heights. I made up my mind then, even before you had finished your speech, that I would make a place for myself, no matter how many difficulties I had to surmount. Thousands of young people will finish their schooling this year, and within the next few years, every one of them will be seeking just such a message of practical encouragement as the one I received from you. They will want to know where to turn, what to do to get started in life. You can tell them because you have helped to solve the problems of many people. There are thousands of people in America today who would like to know how they can convert ideas into money, people who must start at scratch without finances and recoup their losses. If anyone can help them, you can. If you publish the book, I would like to own the first copy that comes from the press, personally autographed by you with the best wishes. Believe me, cordially yours. 35 years after I made that speech, it was my pleasure to return to Salem College in 1957 and deliver the sermon. At the time, I received an honorary Doctor of Literature degree from Salem College. Since that time in 1922, I have watched Jennings Randolph rise to become one of the nation's leading airline executive, a great inspirational speaker, and United States Senator for West Virginia. All right, so we'll stop right there. Wow, that was a lot for one little segment. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. All right, cool. So that part of the book, did you guys get that part of the book? Anybody get it? Oh, absolutely. You're a little late. All right, so the book talks about Henry Ford had the first idea to put a V8 block engine into a vehicle, like the first V8 block engine. And I know some of you guys are car enthusiasts in the room, both of you guys particularly, but I guess that was impossible. At one point in time, there was no way to put that. And Henry Ford was so persistent that he got what he wanted. You know, they finally got the V8 block engine in that vehicle, and it happened. And I want to relate it to what we do next, which is our mastermind. There's a lot of customers that will tell you no, 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 no. I don't know if you guys get that. I'm starting to see a lot of customers right now that have been telling me no for the last 45 days. They're finally starting to say, hey, Jesse, I heard that there's some good deals out there. I heard that sellers are willing to give some closing costs. I heard that some sellers are even reducing the prices of homes. You know, I've been looking for a house and I haven't been able to obtain it. Do you think the time is right? So that's the one topic that I want to discuss. Number one, you guys should not give up on your leads, even though sometimes they say they don't want to do it. What they really mean is that they don't want to do it right now, but they plan on doing it 1, 2, or 3 days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month later. Does that make sense to you guys? So Henry Ford talks about the power of persistence. You have to be very persistent with the customer in order for the customer to really understand that, hey, Hiram truly is interested in representing me as a client. Does that make any sense? You can't give up at the first sign of defeat. So I'll give you an example. There was a gentleman, his name is Alex, and this gentleman was adamant that he was not going to get what he wanted. And he even went as far as saying, hey, I just don't want to work with you. I'm going to find somebody else. And what that meant to me was, okay, I'm either going to give up and I'm going to take it very personal like I usually do. And I'm going to be like, he's not a client that I want to deal with. Or I'm going to take on the think and grow rich approach. And I'm going to be very persistent with the customer. So I continued to call him. Then I told somebody else on staff, I'm like, hey, you guys need to also reach out to him. We reached out and we proposed for us to go back into the house hunting. And would you believe that this whole time, even though he was telling me something, he was doing the complete opposite. He had not been talking to another real estate agent. He was not talking to any other lender. He was just trying to find a way to set me back and tell me, hey, Jesse, I don't want to work with you right now. To my surprise, after asking questions consistently, he was like, you know what, let's give it a shot all over again. Does that make any sense? So again, I don't want you guys to think that the minute that a customer says no to you, they don't mean no forever. Yesterday, I was on the phone again with another family, the Lopez family, and they had been talking about buying a house a year ago. And for some strange reason, they fell off, things didn't develop. And yesterday, we followed up with them all over again, send them a text message, and I spent about an hour of my time on the phone with them, and they're ready to make a move right now. And their approach to this is like, hey, I heard that there's a lot of good deals out there. And I'm like, yeah, there is. We just have to find it. We just have to find that good deal. Does that make sense to you guys? So I want you guys to get yourself into that mindset of you're not going to give up. The reason that you're doing it is because everybody else is still sleeping and everybody else is still trying to have their setup game. We've already started. We've already started getting the customers that are there. And to be honest with you, how many of you guys know that April is peak buying season? So I'll tell you guys something else. April has completely slowed down the real estate market. Our peak buying season is going to start in June this year. So June, July, August, September, those 4 months are going to be what our peak buying season. Because without this COVID-19, it would have been March, April, May, and June. So we've extended it another 2 to 3 months. And I'm just thinking, man, I have to find this opportunity. Today I was leaving my house and I was thinking, man, during the whole COVID-19, I have not stopped. And more than likely, if you start right now and you don't stop, you're gonna go through this pandemic like nothing ever happened, building more equity than ever. And again, I'm telling you guys, if you guys stick to the concept of not giving up, thinking and growing rich, really, you're gonna understand that there's something more to it than what you had in your mind. Right now, the book talked about what? It talked about attracting what you guys want. How many of you guys are getting some results when it comes down to calling people? Like I've been on the phone for a very, very long time. And even yesterday when I finished my second conversation, I'm like, man, I've been on the phone for 2 hours. Like I have not shut up. And then it's like I get home and I'm like super quiet. I'm almost mute. And it's like, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong. It's just that I've been talking so much the whole day that I'm kind of like, let me shut up. But I know that's the price that I have to pay because guess what? Eventually, all that talking is gonna convert into transactions, and then I'll be able to really enjoy my life. I'm trying to relax when everybody else is gonna get to work. You know what I'm saying? Just by putting in the hard work and dedication right now. Real quick, we had requested that you guys would do your just sold script. Yesterday, I got on the phone and I did just sold with those customers that I was talking to. And the Lopez family was very, very happy to find out that I just sold a house in Pacoima. It hasn't closed escrow, but it's about to close escrow. And they're like, really? It's selling for $610,000? I said, absolutely. They said, how much do you think my house is worth? 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I pulled up on my system how much it was worth, and automatically I'm like 550. And they're saying to me, really, we can net about 290? And I'm like, absolutely. You can use those $290,000 and transfer the equity into another home where you can upgrade in size right now. And they said to me, are you serious? That house sold? And I'm like, absolutely. So this is a reason why I'm pushing everybody to get onto this just sold script. If you haven't jumped on it, you need to make sure that you are learning this script. And again, if you don't have access to it, we could share the link, but it's a very, very simple script. So what I want to do today is I want to go through the script one by one. Do you guys have the script, Hiram? Do you have the script?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So hi, my name is Jesse with Global Premier Properties. My company recently sold a home over in your area on Welch Street. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and I sold it for $610,000. We know when someone sells a home, usually 2 or more will sell right away. So I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? How long have you lived at this address? Where did you move from? How did you happen to pick this area? If you were to move, where would you go next? And when would that be? Obviously, you realize it could take 1 to 3 months in this market to get your home sold. Did you know that? My question is, did you have to be sold in 1 month, or did you want to start selling at that time? Wonderful. Fortunately, to get you 1 step closer to Valencia, all we need to do now is simply set an appointment so I can help you get what you want in the time that you want. Won't that be great? Which would be better for you, Monday or Tuesday at 4 p.m.? So this is what I want you guys to do. Every conversation that you're picking up the phone on, every single conversation, don't go into that conversation without holding some type of script. That's why I have all my scripts electronically, because yesterday the client threw a curveball at me and they were like, what if we refinance? So then I understood, I'm like, I'm no one to not tell them to refinance, because automatically then my commission breath starts to come out. And if I tell somebody that's adamant about refinancing, I might kill the deal. They might say, hey, I want to refinance, and I'm going to be like, oh, I don't do refinances for people here. Throw it away. Or I can take the approach of, hey, maybe when you refinance cash out, then what's your motivation for buying? You know what I'm saying? Well, we want to cash out. We want to keep our property. Even though right now, I want to warn you guys that a lot of people are just saying dump the property because tenants are not paying for their rent, a lot of them. And we don't know what's going to happen. We're in May, what, 8th or 9th? 7th? We're May 7th right now. They're saying that this is going to go on to May, what, 15th? So just think about that. Just think about those things and put them into perspective. Look, the beauty about using the script is that if I ever need a transaction, how many of you guys need a transaction right now? Legitimately, how many of you guys need a transaction? Like, how bad do you need the transaction?
You did it yesterday.
You did it yesterday. Okay, so you need the transaction right now. You could sit on the phone for 2 hours and generate a transaction guaranteed, because I have the ability to do it. The only difference is that I'm attracting to it because of how much confidence I have in how much I'm practicing. That's the only difference. That was the only difference between Mr. Henry Ford and the other producers of auto parts and vehicles. His whole mind was like, I'm just gonna get this done right now, you know what I'm saying? And that's my mentality too. I wake up every single morning and I'm like, I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna go see a customer that's gonna make a conscious decision to purchase a home right now. But I'm attracting it every single day. I don't wake up in the morning and I'm not thinking to myself, oh man, I wonder if they're gonna do the deal or not. I wonder if the transaction is gonna happen. Absolutely not. I'm already thinking, hey, I already know that I got some results yesterday. All I have to do is repeat it all over again, and I'll be in the exact same position that I was yesterday. I want you guys to know that people are still buying a home. So one thing that I'm doing this week, and this is the first week that we're going back to our daily mastermind and our role playing. Next week, let's get better of it. My struggle right now is that I'm still programmed to the COVID-19 and I'm falling asleep at 1 in the morning. How many of you guys struggle with that because of whatever you're doing, 1 a.m., 2 a.m.? So next week, I'm going to work on 11:30, I'll be in bed. 11 o'clock, I'll be in bed because I need to strengthen my wake-up time. I need to be up at 5 in the morning and not doing anything else other than reading my scripts, studying the real estate market. And that's the one golden nugget I'll give everybody today. You guys should constantly be on CNN, Money, or Fox News. Money, understanding the market. Because yesterday I heard a lot of you guys talking to customers. I don't know if you guys, yesterday all of us got to work and we were working and we were talking to people. I heard Hiram talking to people, and the number one objection that Hiram was getting yesterday was COVID-19. I heard you mention COVID-19 like 7 times yesterday. And the reality is that you need to get well versed with what's happening. So yesterday, I know you guys saw it on your Instagram, they're softening up the restrictions. So what does that mean? We need to start to get into the swing of things that we're going to be showing a lot of property right now. You should be showing right now. I'll tell you one thing. I saw Sunday morning, I told myself, why am I not showing property and why don't I have appointments with clients right now? And you know what I determined? That I was so comfortable with the amount of transactions that I was transacting that I was like, I'm going to relax for a little bit. Relaxing usually puts you in a position where you're not going to win. Because there's people that want to see homes and they don't want to see homes. What's your strategy from when this all goes back to normal? Do you even have a strategy, or are you just kind of hoping for it to go as you wish? A golden nugget right now is if people are telling you COVID-19, when you're entering the data into your CRM, make sure that you're hashtagging COVID-19. Because I'm going to give you guys the tools after this is all over where you're going to drip campaign them, and all these people are going to be right in front of you, and it should be a very easy layup for you guys. All right, so this morning, one thing I want you guys to do, everybody that's watching online, because I know people are at home, everybody that's sitting somewhere, when we finish this, get 5 phone numbers of 5 people in your family, friends, center of influence that have told you that they want to buy, sell, or refinance them. Call them and run a just sold script on them. Like, you know how many of you guys are getting referred by, I get referred by other family members, I get referred by other friends that are like, Jesse's in the industry, why don't you call him? They give me the number, and for some reason, my mind tells me, yeah, call them, and if they give you any resistance, they suck anyway, you don't want to deal with them. Then you go to a family gathering, they're talking about their brand new house, and you're standing there as the guy that didn't represent them. And you're over there like, oh man, I had the number first. So today we're gonna grab 5 people. Those 5 people, we're gonna call them and we're gonna run a just sold script. They don't know you're running the script. If they know you're running the script, I wanna tell you that you're weak because you haven't been practicing your script. So this should be verbatim. I use this script all the time, even in my regular conversation. Call those 5 people, see what those 5 people say, run a just sold script, and I guarantee you that those people are gonna be like, hey, Jesse, or hey, Abraham, or hey, Edward, hey, Hiram, hey, Teresa. You're right, I have been looking for a home for the last few months. What do you say after that? What's your biggest challenge in finding a home? Well, the real estate agent sucks. I love to hear the real estate agent sucks because that's when I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? That's when I'm like, let's do this. What didn't you like about the agent? Well, I didn't like that the agent, I would send them homes on Zillow. He would never get back to me. I explained to you guys yesterday during the mastermind that the gentleman that another Alex, this gentleman was all like, man, my agent is so negative about the business right now that I don't even want to deal with her. She doesn't even want to show me properties. And I'm like, how much money do you have? $500,000 in cash and the rest for a loan. I'm like, hey, I'll take you. Yeah. Like, I'll get the coronavirus and represent you. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. But anyway, give me the coronavirus. I'll take you. The whole point is that there's people that are looking to be represented right now. You guys are not the type of people that are there just to make a quick commission. You guys are the type of people that are there to build relationships. And people need to be comfortable with you. So I would suggest 5 people, very basic today. And I'm going to do it myself too. And tomorrow I'll report to you guys how successful it is. And if you guys are around, you guys are going to be like, how come deals are developing? If you're around, I'll tell you the deals are developing because I am in the mindset of I'm attracting business constantly. I'm not waking up in the morning and saying, oh man, here goes that client. I'm over here thinking, thank you so much for all the business that I already have. Thank you so much for all the business. And I'm actually not coming in just sitting. I'm coming in, I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So again, I'm pushing the scripts. And before we finish, we're going to do our affirmations. And thank God you showed up because you're the one that has them.